What up, gamers? Today I'm going to show you guys how to do these blast packs. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on how to do each one and how to implement it inside your speedruns. Let's get started. Alright, so the first important blast pack that's going to show up is this one here. There's two blast packs you're going to take at the beginning of your speedrun, but those you pretty much just take normal. Nothing fancy you have to do with those ones. This is the first one where you can actually implement some tech. So I'll kind of show you how to do it. Okay, so for this launch pad, the best way that you're gonna do this quickly after you get done with the triple skip here, you're pretty much just gonna jump right over to it like this, just like you would normal. What you want to do mid-flight after hitting the bounce pad, you should have your bounce back so you can use your jump and then get yourself up on top of that closer platform there, which will set you up for the skip instead of having to do a ladder skip. While you have the upward momentum of hitting the bounce pad, you want to use your jump so this way you can capitalize on the height. So this, you want to use your bounce, and then you want to land somewhere in this area here. This is going to be just a regular kind of wall jump. That's going to be a lot easier to do than trying to catch yourself on the ladder and then have to do the regular ladder jump. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because this video is about the bounce pads, but pretty much all you're going to do is just do a regular wall jump, get up there and grab it like that. With this bounce pad, you can just hit it like normal. There's nothing that you need to do special for it. And so this bounce pad is going to be a pretty important one. I go over it briefly in the speedrun sub 10-minute speedrun guide, but I guess just to kind of talk a little bit about how the bounce pads work, you get the best results if you are on an edge of your phone as opposed to being flat on your phone. I'm not exactly sure why. Something to do with the physics, but when you're lining up, you want to get as close as you can to the bounce pad like this, and then you essentially just want to hold W to go forward on it. And on this specific jump, once you hit the bounce pad, you can bank your jump for about a second or so, just so this way you can get up to that platform up there. In my speedrun guide, I had talked about making it onto this platform, but it's actually a lot better if you immediately hold your left directional button to make it up onto this platform. So I'll show you what I mean, then I'll try to explain it a little better. So this is where you're trying to. Alright, for this one, pay attention to the overlay in the bottom left corner of your screen. And it's going to kind of show you what I mean by delaying your jump and immediately holding your directional button. So what I do normally is I will, as soon as I hit the blast pack, I'll immediately hold my A button, which is my left directional, and then I'll even tap my S button, which is my back, just to try to kill a little bit of momentum so this way I don't go flying over. About half a second to a second after hitting the launch pad is when I'll use my jump. I used to use my jump right as soon as I hit the bounce pad, but then I found myself hitting my head on this platform a lot, so now I delay it just to have the chance at being able to clear this platform and not hit my head and ruin my runs. I'll show you this one more time here. Like I said, just pay attention down in that bottom left corner of the screen. You'll get kind of a better idea as to what buttons you need to press. So line all the way up to the bounce pad as much as you can. Hold W to go forward. Immediately hold your left directional button. And then about half a second to a second after launching off the pad is when you'll want to use your space button to jump. So there we go. Once I get really close to the platform, that's when I'll really start holding S to kill my momentum from going forward, and then I'll continue to fine-tune with my left directional button until I'm on this platform where I need to be. Now on this jump pad specifically, this one, you don't really have to do too much. Alright, so on this bounce pad, since we're not really going for distance and we're just going for height, I immediately will hold my backwards directional button to kill my momentum, so this way we can land up on top of the platform up there. So line up like you normally would, use the edge of your phone, hold W, I press space, and then I use my directional buttons to get me over to this platform. So I press space pretty quickly on this one, just this way I can get height. But the main thing on this one is to be sure that one, that you don't press space too late, but you also want to be sure that you're holding your backwards directional and your right directional button. And then that will put you right here. Now, ideally, you want to land as close to this pad as you can without touching it, so this way you don't have to set up so much for this one. For this pad, what I do is I really delay using my banked jump after hitting the pad. I'll go forward to hit the pad, immediately hold my D key, my right directional, and turn and point my camera that direction while holding W and D to try to get as much of a turn as I can. And then once I get about to the platform is when I'll use my space button. So I'll show that one more time here. So line up like normal. I face that direction. As soon as I hit the bounce pad, I'll face that direction, hold my W and D key, and then wait until I'm pretty close to the platform to use my space, just so I can be sure I get enough height. Just like that. Ideally, you want to land on this pad. This bounce pad is a little different than all the other ones. It doesn't have a directional. The arrows are pointing that direction because that's where you obviously want to go when you're doing a casual run. But if you touch this pad and you don't touch any directional buttons, you'll just bounce straight up in the air. It's a little different from all the other ones. All the other ones send you in a direction. This one doesn't. You can just bounce here infinitely. So what I do, as soon as I hit this pad, I'll flip my camera facing that direction, and then I'll just fly as close to the edge. You should have a jump saved, so I'll just fly as close to the end of the slide as I can, and then use my jump and just try to get as close to the slide as possible. Oh my god, no. Oh my god, no! I hope those explanations kind of helped help you better understand how the jump pads work. Just to recap, you pretty much just want to use the edge of your phone. For some reason, you can just get more height when you use the edge of your phone. And then, depending on what kind of jump you're doing, is going to depend on how you utilize your directional buttons. So if you want to go more up, you just want to hit space as soon as you touch the pad, and then you can use your directional buttons from there. If you want to get more distance and not so much enough height, then I kind of delay my jump. Pretty much just takes a lot of practice, but once you get the practice down, you'll start to understand how to maneuver yourself on these jump pads. But I hope that helped. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you're in the Flipping is Hard Discord, then feel free to shoot me a message on there, and I'm always happy to help. I'm one of the speedrun mods on there, so pretty easy to find. And I'm more than happy to help you guys. If you ever need help with anything, just shoot me a message on Discord. We'll see you later.